Hello everyone. So today we're going to solve all the possible questions that could appear from Macbeth Act 3 Scene 4. It's a really long scene and there are many important questions. So make sure you watch this video, solve all the questions before you attempt the examination. So let's begin. What did Macbeth do when the first murderer told him that Banquo is dead? A. He called the murderer the best of cutthroats. B. He removed his ring and presented it to the murderer. C. He gave him a pat on the back and congratulated him. Or D. He inquired where the other two murderers were. So what did Macbeth do when he told him that Banquo was dead? The answer is A. Yes, he called the murderer the best of cutthroats. Okay. Macbeth says, it's better thee without than he within. So what does he mean by this line and whom does he speak this to? Okay. So when Macbeth sees the first murderer's face smeared with Banquo's blood, Macbeth says, I rather see Banquo's blood splashed on your face than flowing through his veins. So his veins means Banquo's veins. So I would rather see it splashed on your face than to see the blood coursing through Banquo's veins. Next question. Under what condition does he call the first murderer, thou art the nonpareil? So under what condition would he call the first murderer this? A. He single-handedly killed Banquo. B. He gave 20 gashes on his head and made sure Banquo never comes to life. C. If he killed both Banquo and Fleance. Or D. If he agrees to kill all of Macbeth's enemies. Have you marked your answer? It is option number C, correct. If you remember, he says that did the like for Fleance, if thou didst it, thou art the non-parallel. Means you are non-parallel, you are without any equal if you are the one who killed both Banquo and Fleance. Next, what was Macbeth's immediate reaction to the escape of Fleance? A. He gets furious. B. He says that his anxiety, doubts and fears have returned. C. He is disappointed with the three murderers. Or D. He vows to kill Fleance himself. So what was his immediate reaction to the escape of Fleance? Does he get furious? Definitely not. He says that his anxiety, doubts and fears have returned. He says, right, there comes my fit again, or else I would have been perfect. Next, if Banquo and Fleance were both dead, how would Macbeth feel? A. Whole as a marble and firm as a rock. B. Brave as a lion and steady as a pillar. C. Broad and general as the casing air. Or D. Relief and light like the flying birds. Okay, so if Banquo and Fleance were both dead, he would feel as whole as a marble and firm as a rock and also broad and general as the casing air. That means he would feel free and unconfined as the air that is surrounding them. Okay, moving to the next one. Since Fleance is alive, how does Macbeth feel? Okay, so the answer is, after getting the information that Fleance has escaped, Macbeth feels that his anxiety has come back again. Now he feels like he's confined in a cabin and bound in with insolent doubts and fears. So this is what he feels. So one is he feels anxious and then he also feels he is confined and bound in a cabin with insolent doubts and fears. Okay, moving to the next one. There the growing serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. Now this part is important. Please pay attention. So who is referred to as serpent and the worm? So Banquo is referred to as the serpent and Cleance as the worm. What does Macbeth mean by his above statement? So this statement here, the serpent that had grown dangerous is now lying in the ditch dead. So here the serpent is referred to as Banquo. While the son Fleance is a worm, that means he is not dangerous now. He is non-poisonous as he does not have any fangs now. But in time, he might become poisonous and a threat to Macbeth, just like how Banquo had become. So he says, at present, Fleance is not dangerous to me, but just like how Banquo then became dangerous, Fleance might also become. Next, why does Macbeth call his wife a sweet remembrancer? A. She reminded Macbeth that he is king and Banquo is dead. B. She reminded him that he is not making the guests feel welcome. C. Eating with people requires a little more ceremony where they are constantly made to feel welcome. Or D. All of the above. So Macbeth calls his wife sweet remembrancer when she reminds him that he's not making the guests feel welcome. She also tells him that eating with people requires a little more ceremony where they are constantly made to feel welcome, or else they would feel that it was best that they were actually at their own homes and eating their meals. So when she says that, Macbeth called his wife a sweet remembrance. She still doesn't know that Banquo is dead. So A is not the option. Next, why does Macbeth say that the table is full? A. Lady Macbeth was sitting on his chair. B. All the guests had occupied the chairs and there was no place to sit. C. The table is full of food and they can relish their meals to their heart's content. Or D. The ghost of Banquo was sitting on Macbeth's chair. Yes, your answer is absolutely right. The ghost of Banquo was sitting on Macbeth's chair. That is why he says that the table is full. When Ross says, "Gentlemen, let's rise. His Highness is not well," how does Lady Macbeth convince the others to sit and continue the feast? So what does Lady Macbeth say? Lady Macbeth says, she asks the worthy guest to sit down and tell them that since his childhood, he has had this issue. So the first thing she tells them is, worthy friends, please sit down. Macbeth has this issue since his childhood. She says that the fit is temporary and in a moment he shall be fine again. She also says that if they pay too much attention to him, then he will get offended, which would prolong his fit. So this is how she tries to protect her husband, and she asks all the lords to sit and continue the feast. Next, when Lady Macbeth asks Macbeth if he is a man, what does he reply? A. Yes, a bold one who dares to look at something that would appall the devil. B. He's not sure anymore as he feels anxious and has nightmares all the time. C. He says yes, but he's haunted by his actions day and night. Or D. He chooses to ignore her questions and attends to the guest. So what does he reply? Have you marked your answer? It is A. If you remember in the passage, he says A, and a bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil. Next, what does Macbeth say when he first notices the ghost of Banquo sitting on his seat? A. I want and quit my sight. B. Never shake thy gory locks at me. C. Thy bones are marrowless and thy blood is cold. Or D. Be gone, let the earth hide thee. So if you know, Macbeth says all of this above to the ghost, but which was the first thing that he says to the ghost when he notices it for the first time? The answer is B. Never shake thy gory locks at me. Correct. Next, what specific instruction did Macbeth give the first murderer for the next meeting? A. Make sure Fleance is captured before they meet. B. To meet him at the courtyard after the banquet is over. C. To leave and wait until tomorrow for further instructions. Or D. To sacrifice an animal in order to please Banquo's ghost. So the special instruction that he gave was option C. To leave and wait until tomorrow for further instructions. Next one. When Macbeth confides to Lady Macbeth that he saw something that would even fright the devil, what does Lady Macbeth say in order to dissuade him from such thoughts? So again, this is important part. Lady Macbeth says that it was just another hallucination that he always gets when he is afraid. This was just like the floating dagger he saw that led him to Duncan, and that these outbursts are only imposters of true fear. If I have to quote the exact lines from the passage, it is, "Oh, proper stuff, this is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. Oh, these flaws and starts are imposters to true fear." So this is exactly what she said. Next, who does she compare Macbeth to? A. A girl playing with a doll in front of her grandmother. B. Young girls who are naive and innocent, always afraid of the dark. C. A woman telling a scary story by the fireside in front of her granny. Or D. A superstitious granny sitting by the fireside. All these options sound pretty confusing, isn't it? Okay. But there's just one right answer, which is option C. Okay, I hope you're getting all the answers right. Let's move to the next one. What do the following lines mean? Again, very important question. If charnel houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the maws of kites. So what do these lines mean? So these are said by Macbeth. So what does he say? If the dead are returning from the storehouses for bones. So charnel houses are the storehouses for bones. And from graves, then we might as well let the birds eat the bodies of the dead and let them be present in the stomach of birds rather than being buried, as there is no point in burying the dead. So why is he saying that there is no point burying the dead? Because he is saying that the dead, they are returning from their graves. So it is better that we let these kites or birds eat the bodies of these dead rather than burying them. So this is an important part. Okay. Next, what comparison does Macbeth make about the olden times when a human stature perched the gentle wheel and now? Again, important. So what is the comparison that he makes with the olden times and now? So Macbeth says that in the ancient times, before there were civilized laws to make the land safe and peaceful, a lot of terrible murders have been performed that have been too terrible for the ears to even listen to. That means because they were so brutal, it was terrible even for the ears to listen to. And when the brains were knocked out, the man would die and it would be his end. But now, Even if people are killed with fatal 20 gashes to their head, they rise again and push us off our stools. So this is more strange than the murder itself. So what he's saying is, in the past, there were even more brutal and gory murders that have taken place even before civilized laws were instilled. But once the brain was knocked out, the person would be dead and never return. But now, even if 20 gashes are given to the head, they rise again and push us off our stools because the ghost was sitting on Macbeth's chair. So he's saying that this is more strange than the murder itself, which is quite strange. So this is an important part. Okay. Next, thy bones are marrowless and thy blood cold. So Macbeth is speaking to A, his guests, B, to Fleance, C, to the first murderer, or D, to the ghost of Banquo. I think everyone's going to get this answer right. It is D, to the ghost of Banquo. Next, which among these does Macbeth not mention? So please pay attention, not mention. A, you can approach me like the rugged Russian bear. B, you can approach me like the armed rhinoceros. You can approach me like the mighty lion with sharp claws. D, you can approach me like the hiking tiger. Or E, you can approach me in any form you want. I can give you a clue. There's just one answer that he does not mention among this, which is option number C. He does not mention any mighty lion and sharp claws. So this is the incorrect one. Next, what challenge does Macbeth give the ghost of Banquo? And which form does he ask the ghost to take? Again, important one, really important. So Macbeth says that he is brave as any man could be. He tells the ghost that he can come to Macbeth as a rugged Russian bear, an armed rhinoceros, the hiking tiger, and to take any form but as the ghost of Banquo. But not as the ghost of Banquo. That is what he's saying. You come as any form but this. He says that if he takes any of the forms mentioned above, he shall not tremble or be frightened. Macbeth also says, or else come back to life and challenge me in a deserted place with your sword. If I tremble then, mock me as a little girl's doll. But you horrible hallucination, get out of here. So there's two things that he says. You can come as anything, any of these things. Take any form you want other than the form of a ghost. And I shall not tremble if you come as any of these forms. And you can also come back to life and challenge me in any deserted place and I shall not tremble because I'm that brave. But do not come as the ghost of Banquo. Lady Macbeth says, you have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with the most admired disorder. So what does it portray about her priorities? A, she wants to maintain normalcy and focuses on the comfort of the guest. B, she prioritizes on the mental health and anxiety of Macbeth over anything else. C, she's annoyed with the guest over their reaction to Macbeth's hallucination. Or D, she wants to remove the focus of Banquo's absence. So what are her priorities here? It is option A. Yes, she wants to maintain normalcy. That's why she keeps telling the guest, please sit down. This is a temporary fit. You will be back to normal again. Please continue with your feast. And she wants to focus on the comfort of the guest. That's why she tells Macbeth, right, this is just another hallucination of yours. So get over it. Next, why does Macbeth mention a summer's cloud? A, he feels hot and confined or bound in. B, to show something has happened out of the blue. C, to portray something has happened suddenly. Or D, to show it is going to rain violence all around. In the passage, he says, can such things be and overcome us like a summer's cloud without our special wonder? So, what does summer's cloud indicate here? It is to portray something that has happened suddenly. So, he says, right, can such things exist and overcome a person as suddenly as the summer's cloud? Okay. In the line, blood will have blood, what does it mean? Now, again, this particular line is very important in the entire Macbeth story because he's saying that blood will have blood. Now, what does it mean? A, he's confessing to killing to the murders. B, he believes that murder will always be avenged by murder. C, he wants to kill everyone who comes his way. D, he believes that his loved ones will pay the price of his actions. So blood will have blood means, so he believes that murder will always be avenged by murder. So the dead will definitely take their revenge, which is according to an old saying. Next. You make me strange even to the disposition that I owe, when I think that you can behold such sights. What is Macbeth intending to tell here? A, he is astonished that everyone can keep a straight face after seeing such astonishing sights. B, they make him feel that he does not know his own nature, which he thought was brave. C, all of them can keep the natural ruby of their cheeks intact, while he has become pale with fear. D, he is furious that they all support Banquo even after his death and are indifferent to Macbeth. So I'll give you 2 minutes to go through these points and mark the right answer. So he's telling, you make me strange even to the disposition that I owe, when I think that you can behold such sights. So what is he intending to tell here? So it is option A. He is astonished. How can everyone keep a straight face after seeing such astonishing sights? What is the astonishing sight? The ghost of Banquo. After that, he says, you're all making me feel that I don't know my own nature, which I thought was brave. Then he says that all of them can keep their natural ruby of their cheeks intact, while he has become pale with fear. So it is option A, B, and C. Even if you have not marked the C answer, that is okay, because I haven't actually written that line where he says, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks when mine is blanched with fear. As the saying goes, blood will have blood. And what all natural phenomenon are supposed to happen in order to bring the guilty men to justice? Okay. So, what all natural phenomenon are supposed to happen in order to bring the guilty men to justice? If you remember, Macbeth mentions these. Is it A, gravestones can move? B, the dead will return as ghosts and haunt them? C, trees can speak? D, flight of birds can expose the craftiest murders? E, the unusual storms and there will be rainfall of blood? Or F, people having the dreams of the action of the murder that took place? So which ones are the appropriate ones? So in order to bring the guilty men to justice, what will happen? The graves can move, trees can speak, and the flight of birds can expose the craftiest murders. So this part is also important. Moving to the next one. Who had refused to come to the court even after Macbeth had summoned him? A. Ross, B. Malcolm, C. Macduff, or D. Lennox? The answer is C. Macduff. So Macbeth says that he heard it indirectly. Who's the source? A. He overheard the conversation of the lords. B. Lady Macbeth told him. C. Macbeth sent a servant to enquire. Or D. He has a spy in that person's house. So Macbeth came to know about this because he has a spy in Macduff's house, which is Macduff's own servant. Next, who does Macbeth resolve to meet towards the end of the scene, and what is his intention? So Macbeth plans to meet the three witches because he's determined to know what is the worst that is going to happen. As the only thing matters to him now is his own safety. In the passage, he says, I will tomorrow and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know by the worst means the worst, for mine own good. So for his own safety. Next, I am in blood stepped in so far that, should I wade no more, returning we as tedious as go over. What do these lines mean? Again, important. So Macbeth says that he has walked so far into this river of blood and committed so many murders up to this point that even if he stopped and would plan to go back, it would be as hard as to keep killing people. So even if he plans to stop these murders and go back to being good, it would be as difficult as if he continues to go forward and kill people. So he's saying now he's midway and both sides are difficult. Next, what does he say about the strange thing in his head? A. He must discuss with his wife. B. He must put into action before he has a chance to even think about it. C. He must think well from now on before taking any more actions. D. He must let destiny carve out a path for him. So he says he must put it into action before he even has a chance to think about it. Next, Macbeth says that the strange and self-abuse was because A. He is a person with a clean heart. B. He unintentionally started becoming evil. C. It is because of his inexperience in bad deeds. Or D. He has a weak heart. So in the passage, if you see, he says, my strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed. So, saying it is because he is inexperienced in bad deeds, that he is still a beginner when it comes to evil deeds. And that is why he has been having strange self-delusions. What is the role of Banquo's ghost in this scene? A. It encourages Macbeth to go into the path of righteousness. B. To warn the other lords that Macbeth is guilty. C. It symbolizes Macbeth's ambition. Or D. It increases his guilt and drives him further into madness. So what is the role of a ghost here? It is to increase his guilt. He's already feeling guilty for killing Duncan, and he's having anxiety and he's anxious. He's having nightmares in his sleep. So this is to increase his guilt and drive him further into madness. Next. What does Lady Macbeth mean by you lack the season of all nature's sleep? A. He has not been alert and has been giving away his hidden intentions openly. B. His mental state is affected because of lack of sleep. C. He should take a break from his evil intentions and just sleep like a child. Or D. By sleeping, he will get the solution to all his problems via dreams. So towards the end, she says, right, you lack the seasons of all nature's sleep, because she says that his mental state is affected because of his lack of sleep. So go to bed. And yes, we have successfully completed all the questions from this scene, and I think you're thorough now with the scene, isn't it? So please share this video among your friends and make sure that you revise all of these questions before your examination. All the very best. God bless. I'm praying for you.